Okay. Wow. That was fast. Give me 1 second to get my life. Okay. What are we? 11 minutes late. Y'all hear that? I'm sure you can hear my little dog. On my gosh, not little and not my dog, but I have guests over, and so the dog is not happy. Okay. Um, and most of my stuff is in the car from this weekend. So we have this little blurry camera. But here we are. Um, you are with me. A night with the host. So anyways, first of all, hello my loves and welcome to the Carter Love Talk Show After Hours. It's your host, Deshae Carter. And make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you can be notified every time we post a video here on the Carter Love Network. We like to start off with what we're drinking. I have not mixed my drink yet, but this is the tequila. I have tried this once. This is left over from this weekend's shenanigans. Look at my nails though. Ooh, shout out to Smudge Nail Bar in Sacramento because my nails are giving everything. My goodness. I'm obsessed. Every day I'm more obsessed with them. When they're wet, when they're soapy, like they sometimes they look like fiery red, and then like right now to me they look kind of pink and purple. I don't know. I'm obsessed with them. I'm obsessed with them. But anyways, this I'm gonna mix this with hold on. I have to do a Target run. That's why I'm late. Because I forgot to buy my lemonade to go with my tequila. So this is my combo for tonight. Yeah, so that's that. Today's spotlight, as far as a business spotlight goes, I did not prepare one. Yeah. Um, we always, of course, are repping Carter Love. This is a dress that I made with a Maya Angelou quote on it from when I used to I used to create the designs and then I would vinyl cut them and then I would iron them. I still have hella vinyl over here too. I would heat press them onto clothing items. So this is from this is an original, a Carter Love original. It says, if I am not good to myself, how can I expect anyone else to be good to me? Was a Maya Angelou quote that I was obsessed with because at that time, woo child, the negative self-talk was like at an all-time high and it was bad. Like I would stub my toe and be like, you deserve that shit. Like, girl, like it was an accident. Like, chill out. It'd be like all sorts of little things, but yeah, so I needed that quote, so I put it on the dress. They sold fast too. I had to like cop me one before my size was gone. So I might have to run that back to be honest. But anyways, that's we're gonna call that the spotlight. You can see all of my designs, all of my clothing brand items on carterlovellc.com. I'm going to I've been focusing mainly on my oil brand. On the oils, this is not there's no oil in here, of course. This is how I'm holding the herbs that I put in the oil. But I've been focusing heavily on marketing the oils, but now that I have a strong foundation in marketing the oils, I will be doing better at marketing the clothing. So you'll see more about the clothing. You'll see the what's it called? Actually, since we're talking about it, I'm going to go ahead and make that the topic for tonight. But you're going to see more of the clothing this year. So I'm excited about that. I want to take a cute picture before I forget because we're always working, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can get it, y'all. The nails have to be included because if the nails aren't included, then it doesn't represent the brand that I actually want to represent. Not the tequila brand, but the nail brand, the nail bar. So we're going to hold it like this. But we do still want to make sure that it looks like we're representing the tequila brand. So then we're going to hold it like this. Woo, child. I got oil on my hands, so this is going to slip. Boom. Got it. Okay. It looks pretty good. I don't like that the top is not in there. But for the most part, it's cool. I wanted to get the whole bottle. I'll probably get another one later on, but just in case I forget. Y'all, I've been waiting. When I tell y'all I wait till Friday to drink with y'all, it just be happening, okay? I didn't get to drink last Friday with you guys because I was driving. Now I'm at home and I get to drink with you guys, and I've been waiting. So what are you drinking? Let me know in the comments what you're drinking tonight. Because I've been waiting for y'all. And here we are. This is how I measure. A lot, but it's okay. I'm mixing it with some lemonade. So we covered the what are you drinking, the spotlight, and now we're gonna go over the highs and lows. A high, my physical driver's license came in the mail. I got my license last Monday. Driver's license came in the mail. I got it yesterday, I think. Another high, my brand deals are going well. So the hair and the nails are a brand deal. I'd say your girl's doing pretty good for herself. You know, I just been feeling so grounded in me and who I am. And last year, I feel like I was in love with myself. Like I finally fell in love with myself and was like, ooh, you know what I mean? But I still had a little bit of shrinking because I could read how some people were uncomfortable with how much I loved myself. Or how unapologetic I was being about being myself. So then I became a little apologetic. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to that unapologetic, just pure raw me. Let me see something. I'm trying to see if y'all can hear the dog. I'm looking at my mic meter to see if it's picking him up. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Okay. I won't do a long episode because I don't know if you guys can hear him, and I don't also I don't one, like I said, we have guests. Two, I don't want that to be distracting from the message. Because he's fine. He just wants to entertain the guests as well. And it's not his job right now. Let me mix my lemonade into my tequila so we can get going. Highs and lows. Low. I guess if I had to pick a low, just because we're doing highs and lows, it would be that I didn't get paid when I was expecting to get paid. But other than that, I don't really have a low. Um, like I said, I've been feeling so grounded in myself and enjoying that, enjoying being, enjoying how connections have felt since I've been being unapologetically me. And the opportunities that have come my way because of it. So I don't feel I have no complaints. You know what I'm saying? No complaints whatsoever. I'm gonna do you guys. I'm sorry. It just the nails just look. If you can't tell, I'm kind of obsessed with these fucking nails. So usually I just get a solid color. I don't think this is gonna look right anyways though because my phone is very oily. But let's see if I can get it. My phone is incredibly oily. It doesn't look bad. But anyways, so that would be my low. Put your highs and lows in the comments. I love going over them. I feel like sometimes we don't think about it. Like I don't think about it either. Like last week, I honestly forgot about my license. Ja actually pointed out that I got my license as a high. Um, and so sometimes I just think that we overlook a lot. I made the dean's list again. That's something that I've been overlooking. I've been low key stressing about school because I feel like it's secondary right now. I don't want it to be, but because I am a mom and a business owner and there's other businesses that I looked after, and then on top of that, I do different things to level myself. So like, going on walks and going on drives and things of that nature, hanging out with different people. Um, I feel like school is so secondary. And so sometimes I'm like, as far as my grades go, but I'm grateful that I do have a natural instinct when it comes to psychology on top of the education that I learned. So I have been getting all A's and there's some B's sprinkled in there in the assignments, but as far as my classes go, every class I've passed with an A. So I am grateful for that. I am grateful to have made the dean's list. I think I've been making the dean's list for every season since I've been in school, and I'm going on year 3. So that's 4 seasons for 3 years. So I'm very proud. I am. I really feel like National University was the best pick for me because I don't do well with peer review stuff. I can interact with students in class, like in person, but virtually, I don't have the patience for it. And testing, I'm not a great test taker. Like I know all the tricks, process of elimination, all the things, but it's something about that pressure it'll be working for me. I don't know what it is. But so I'm grateful for the way that they have set up National University that works for me. So I think I took it off the wall, but I had how much longer I had on the wall. I think next year by the end of the year, I will have my bachelor's, and then I'll have about 2 more years and I'll get my master's. It is a little bit of a slower process. Like if I was in regular school, like if I was at a physical school if I was at their physical school in San Diego, I would probably be working on my master's right now because I've been in school for 3 years now. So I would have already had my bachelor's and will be working on my master's. But I'm grateful that this works for me and my family. So there's that. Let me sip because I ain't sipped nothing yet. If you're just joining us, make sure that you let us know what you're drinking in the comment section. Also, let us know your highs and lows for the week. I just wrapped up mine. Didn't really have any lows. Just wanted to remind you guys to just, if you're not going to put it in the comments, just reflect on some of the things that you're grateful for that happened this week. Because it's, like I said, those are things that we miss. Those are things that we forget. Um, there's so much that happens in a week, man, in a day, shit. And so it's good to go back and reflect on those things, reflect on some of the lessons that you learned. I learned a lot of valuable lessons. I've been trying to jot them down so that I can share them later on. I told you guys before I'm going to add us to Substack. So we are still going to live here on YouTube. The Cardo Network is still going to live and thrive here on YouTube. But I also want to build a community on Substack. So I'm going to start putting like, if you follow the Deshae Carter like threads or Facebook or even my Instagram on the model page, I'll put in my notes. Like there's usually like a sweet little message or whatever. I can read some of them to you guys. What I'm going to do is go on Substack and I'm going to elaborate on them. So for example, did I write that one down? So there's this quote that I've heard multiple times, and it's when people tell you who they are, believe them, or when people show them who you are, show you who they are, believe them, right? And that's a quote that a lot of people know. That's not a quote that I say. I mean that I've I'm not the originator, right? But like I recently learned a new lesson on that. Then there's this quote that my pastor used to say, and she used to say that people have no heaven or hell to put you in. And that's something. So I'm going to basically take certain quotes that I use and I'm going to elaborate on them in Substack. Whereas on Threads, I might just say, right, like today I posted, I'm living in the overflow, right? On Substack, I'm gonna dive deeper into that, right? Um, the yesterday I posted, let go of the reality of others, because sometimes we're living in other people's reality for us, and other people's reality for what like the average woman or the average black woman or the average 30 something should be living, right? So we're living in other people's reality instead of creating our own. You know what I mean? So like I'm gonna dive deeper into some of the stuff that I've already posted. So it's gonna be good. But of course, on top of that, we are still gonna have the Carter Love After Hours, the Carter Love Talk Show, Beautifully Imbalanced. I'm going to be harder on myself because Beautifully Imbalanced is incredibly important. It is part of my call. It's part of the reason why I was put through all the trials and storms that I was put through, and I've been slipping. And so, definitely going to bring that to Substack and bring that back here on the Carter Love Network. So, we are going to be in Substack. Actually, I'm gonna put the link in the comment section if I can remember how to do it. But yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the comment section because we are going to be active on Substack. Let me find it. I sent it in our group chat for the co-host, so I know I should be able to find it fast. I don't know why I did it this way instead of just going to the link tab, but copy. And then I have to mute myself so that I can go on YouTube and put it in the comments. I'm trying to make sure I get over all this beginning stuff so I can dive into the topic. Because as I was talking about branding earlier, I figured out that we should talk about branding. Because technically everyone should be branding right now. Whether you're a model, a content creator, an artist, a music artist, um, the Substack is in the comment section now, so you should be able to click it and join our Substack. I'll start posting on there. I'll probably start posting the quotes and diving deeper into the quotes before any of this stuff gets on there, just because I have to download these and then upload them. And right now on YouTube, because we've been doing so great, let's see, we have over 20 episodes for both podcasts, actually for all three, right? For the Carla Talk Show, the original, we have 30 episodes. For the Carla Talk Show After Hours, we have over 20 because some of them haven't been added to the playlist. For Beautifully Imbalanced, we have 30. That is a lot of downloading and uploading. I'm not looking forward to it, okay? It will get done. I don't know when, okay? I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. But these quotes can start happening. And I feel like that's a good place to start. So I'm gonna start there. The videos are gonna come eventually. But I think the quotes are a good place to start. I also think the quotes are going to be good for me as well, because sometimes I'm processing stuff or I'm doing an audio and then these quotes will come to me and I'll share them with you guys. But I don't get to fully process them because it's like one quote will come and then another one will come and then another one will come, right? And so I'll apply it, but only slightly because I haven't fully processed it. This will give me a chance to fully process it and like really have a full message. So I'm really excited for that aspect. And I feel like Substack is a space for that because people literally like to go read stuff on Substack. I'm gonna tell you right now, I like to read, but I don't like to read. I know it's contradicting, but I think it's because I got hooked on audiobooks. I stopped like for a long time I needed a physical book. Now it's like hard for me to get back to the physical book. But anyways, they're coming on Substack. But branding. So I was talking about branding because dang it, last time I tried to share my screen, it didn't work. But let's see if it'll let me share my screen. I'm gonna pull up my Instagram because I've been working very diligently to branding I've been working very diligently in rebranding all of my Instagrams so that they make sense, right? Um, so for those of you who don't know, I have like 6 Instagrams. I have my model Instagram, my personal Instagram, my events Instagram. I have an Instagram for my oils and Instagram for my clothing. I have one more Instagram that I have not been active on, and I probably won't be active on until I build a community fully. Um, so the personal Instagram, that's where I share like a lot of like my personal interests. So like different dance videos, not mine, other people's. A lot of anime, a lot of Batman, a lot of Harry Potter, a lot of Harry Potter. Like stuff that I drink, stuff that I cook, stuff like that. Maybe the kids will go on there, the hikes, like stuff, nature stuff, that all goes on the personal Instagram. My model Instagram is more professional, unless you're part of the close friends, you might get a little sneak peek of me having fun. But it's more professional. And I just cleaned it up. I just made it look really good. And I'm still lightweight cleaning it up. Let me see if it'll let me share my screen, because last time it said it was sharing it and it wasn't. And I don't know what that was all about. Let's see, share screen, share screen, Instagram, share. All right, now let me just double check that it's sharing before I start clicking on stuff and explaining stuff, because like I said, last time it said it was sharing and it wasn't. Yep, it's not sharing. Well, oh, okay. There we go. Now we doing something. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Give me 1 second to rearrange my screens. All right. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. I'm glad you can see it. Okay. So, talking about branding, just going to show you what I've been doing to increase my brand awareness. So, as you can see, my highlights are all updated. I don't know why this look like this. I don't know what that's all about. In the real world, it don't look like that. If you go on your phone, it doesn't look like that. That's what I mean by the real world. Hold on really quickly. Let me expand this so I can see. Okay, cool beans, bro. It looks good. Okay, so because this is my model page, but I do commercial branding, I host and I model, right? And this is the Instagram that I'm most active on. I made sure that I updated my highlights. I try to keep a variety of stuff here. What I've been told is that people, like brands, companies, whatever, who are looking at your stuff, they're only going to look at these probably the first 9, right? I decided recently, because I just did these new shoots and they're representing so many different brands that I love, that I would leave these 3 reels out. I usually move my reels, and if you don't know how to do that, I don't know how to do it on the computer. But you can move your reels to your reels tab. It keeps your page cleaner. We need a clean page. But I recently updated my highlights. And so before, I used to use highlights like a folder for photos or whatever. And this um I've seen other people do it, but Chat GPT taught me this, how to make it better. Like slides, like a slideshow, like a presentation, right? So this one, this is my about me highlight. So I talk about who I am. Um So it says who I am. Let me see. How do you click to the next? I doing this on the computer is different. What I do, let's see, how I work, um, who I'm for. So letting my audience know who I work, who I'm for, what I do for the close friends, um, and then my team, letting people know who my team is and going from there. This is my comp card. So because I'm a model, a comp card lets people know what my measurements are and what type of modeling I do, my experience. Then I have my media kit. So that's for what is it called? Being a creative, right? So content creation. They know they can see my range. They, and my ratings and who I serve, my reach, stuff like that. And then this is like the more professional stuff. So the other stuff was more like commercial. This is more like storytelling. So changing your highlights to where they're clean, even like these covers. I used photos from the same shoot. These, oh, they came in now, look at them. These are shoots that I coordinated. So like this shows my creative direction, stuff like that. A lot of people don't understand all of what I do, so I made sure I included those. The services that I do, so all of my services are in here. The talk show is in here on a different one, and the products have their own highlight. So the products that I sell, um, so it's me but organized, so people can understand who I am and what I do, right? Um, this is my branding. If you go over to my, what is it called? Let's see if they let me do it. If you go to my oils page, um, the it's organized as well. Ingredients. Oh, no, let's not go through the ingredients. No, but this one breaks down all of the ingredients that are in each oil. Um, real organized, clean, to the point, you know what I mean? Really professional. There's the behind the scenes, there's the how to use. What's the other one? Reviews, the brand story. So this one I took some time to, I feel like there's something missing. Um, I took some time to really talk about why I created the brand, who I am, things of that nature. Um, so that's what it's gonna look like for a product, right? For the other one, it was I mean I am the service in the product or whatever. For this one, there's an actual product. So this is how the page looks. Decided to use a certain pattern. So if you see, this is ingredients. The ingredients are at an angle. The professional photos are at an angle. The affirmations and quotes are at an angle. Like it's a specific design. See? And you can chat GPT this. Chat GPT and Pinterest, baby. So that's what I've been working on. I'm gonna do the same thing to the Carter Love network Instagram, as well as the Carter Love clothing Instagram. Y'all, the clothing Instagram looks sad right now. I'm gonna show y'all right now. It looks a little sad. It looks a wee bit sad. You see all my Instagrams? um, it looks a little sad. Usually the last post was around Christmas. But I'm gonna clean that up. I just decided on a new direction, so I will communicate with you guys more about that, so that you guys can hear. Yes, not for long. It won't look like that for long. So the plan is, so a while back I got this I had a brand before I started consulting on brands. I had I got 60 pages for sure though. Like, because everybody don't want to they don't want the oil. Some people don't care about the oil. Some people just want the clothing. Some people don't care about the oil or the clothing. They just want the modeling Some people don't care about none of that shit. They just want the personal page where I just post memes and shit. Um, so I got all the pages, so it's categorized. I'm organized. I'm sectioned off. I have different audiences. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna do that on camera. We just gonna leave it alone. We gonna button it up. But anyways, because I be tangling this stuff up. Basically, that what they so people tell you sometimes to focus on one thing and let that grow, and then you add on other things. Um, Girl, yes, bring my oil, okay? Because I've been having to use olive oil, and ain't nothing wrong with olive oil, but it's not my oil. Okay, it's not the Shay butter. I need my oil. Um, I've been having withdrawals. Okay, I need my oil. Um, but so they tell people this with all businesses. Kiki Palmer has a different mindset, and I'm with her mindset, but I'm going to use it to narrow down on my clothing brand. But they say to focus on one thing, get that to a certain level, and then start focusing on the other things. I'm going to take that aspect not from my whole business, because if I'm going to write poetry, it doesn't make sense to not write my poetry book if I'm going to write poetry, even though I'm still making oils and doing the talk show. And you know what I mean? Doesn't make sense to put one thing down if I'm already handling them all well. Um, but um, what I want to do for the clothing brand is focus on the rose. So most of the merch that I have, that's not with me right now, which is funny. Um, most of the merch that I have from my brand is the Carter Rose. So that's what people see the most. So they don't even know about the other collections. So we're gonna hone in on that, because the beautiful thing about roses is everyone loves them. Everyone connects with them in certain ways. Some people connect with it for love, self-love. Some people connect with it because the rose that grew from concrete, different stuff like that, right? Um, Finding beauty in the thorns of the rose. Like, there's a lot of different reasons why people connect with roses. And so I'm going to focus on that. And the other collections will be there. I still have the Love Your Body collection. I still have the I'm Not For Everyone. All of those collections are still going to be on the website. But I'm just going to focus on that and gain visibility for the clothing brand. And then I will start adding on. So I'll just do each collection at a time, because I have over 5 collections. For those of you who don't know, the clothing brand is, I think, the clothing brand was where I started for the most part. Like, I was always making the oils and stuff, but just for me, not to sell. The clothing brand is mainly where I started, because I've been making shirts and stuff since I was in middle school, but selling them after I had my son, affirmations became very powerful for me, and I didn't even realize they were affirmations. But I'm Not For Everyone became big for me because I was a really big validation seeking and people pleasing, and I would get all in my feelings because I would see people say, "Oh, who makes custom T-shirts?" and they would share or tag all these different people, and I'm like, "Hey, I make custom T-shirts." You know what I mean? Why didn't you tag me in my mind, right? Um, and I'm like, one, now that I've reflected, honestly, a lot of people didn't even know I made those. But in the moment, it was also audience, right? I'm not for everyone. So everyone's not going to share me. You know what I mean? Everyone's not going to be in my corner, and that's okay. Everyone's not going to be my audience for me to sell to, and that's okay. So for me, it just kind of helped me to stop comparing myself, and it helped me to stop feeling like I wasn't supported. Because it was helping. I wasn't seeing who was supporting me because I was looking for support in other areas. You know what I mean? Because support didn't look like what I thought it should look like. So hearing that I'm not for everyone, seeing that helped me a lot. Love Your Body became very powerful to me as well after my son, but may also after my daughter, because your body shifts so much after having children. And with both kids, I got my weight down. Like I was 180, got weight down. I lost 40, like over 40 pounds, got pregnant. Same. Did it both times. So to have my son and to have my daughter, because I have PCOS. So the hormone imbalances your, it makes your period irregular, so it's hard for you to get pregnant. So with both kids, I had to lose a certain amount of weight and keep that weight, maintain a low weight in order for my period to be consistent, in order for me to have kids. um so did it both times. The first time was unintentional, but it happened. um did it both times, and then boom, so actually now that I realize it, both of them were unintentional. I was just trying to stay healthy and have a healthy menstrual cycle. But anyways, that's beside the point. So getting myself to being fit, probably the most fit I've been in my life, and then seeing those changes and seeing how some stuff didn't go back and some stuff did, and even though the weight was getting lost, um and then I kept like, oh, I'll do it when I'm this size, or I'll do it when I'm this size. So Love Your Body became really powerful for me, because it's like the reality is, one, my body just did some amazing shit. Okay. I carried a child, then I pushed the child out naturally. Okay. Um, Naturally, then I nursed those kids for however long. It was longer than a year, I know that much. It was probably about 2 years for both children. You know what I mean? Doing these magical things, and then now I'm shaming myself because I'm overweight or whatever, or I got new stretch marks. You know what I mean? So I really needed those words to pour back into myself. And you don't realize when you wear something, you're reading it unconsciously. You're reading it. So it became such a powerful message for me. And anytime I felt like I was shaming my body, I threw that shirt on. Love Your Body every step of the journey. Every step of the journey. And I remember I used to hear people say, like, oh, I can't wear that at my size, or they would buy small clothes to put on when they got to a certain size, and I always thought that was crazy. But then I found myself doing it, and so I'm like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna love our body right now. We're not gonna wait and love our body when we're this size. You know what I mean? And so it became very powerful for me. So each collection in the Carter Love brand is powerful in some way, shape, or form for me. And it's vague enough to where it can be applied to different individuals um, for different reasons, right? The big collection, um, yes, the big collection was because I've talked about it a lot on this channel. I had a really bad habit of shrinking myself. I know, and y'all know, that I have a big personality. And for some people, that's too much. And so, in order for me, because of my abandonment issues, in order for me to have people, I would shrink down, and I would like morph myself into who each individual wanted me to be. And it was unconscious, but it was done. Okay. And with this person, I would be this way. With this person, I would be this way. And it would all be me, but it would only be a version of me. Like certain parts of me would be shrunk down. And I did it for years, like probably most of my adult life. I probably didn't start doing that until mm, like 29, 28, 29. I'm 32. Like, um, and so I remember I was in a therapy session, and my therapist said, you're big. You have a big personality. And that was the first time I ever heard that in a positive way. And after that, I just ran with it. So that became the collection, big. Um, for some people, there was a girl who purchased the shirt, and she it's similar to her brand. So she purchased the shirt, right? There are other people who also have that habit of shrinking. There are some people who are short, but they have big personalities. So they relate to the brand. So like it relates to different people for different reasons, and that's the beautiful thing about the messages. Um but yeah. So we're going to start with the rose cuz the rose I feel like is the most universal and attractive. And then we're going to work our way through the other collections as the visibility gains. So you have to try things. And that's what I've learned a lot. Sometimes we're so afraid and we over plan because we have these magical dreams and we want the things to go just right. Um, but we get carried away. And so um and sometimes it overwhelms our audience, so it's not actually serving our audience because now they're overwhelmed. So I've put everything out and I took it all back and I put it out and I took it all back, like that Instagram, the Carter Love Instagram. That Instagram, I've had that Instagram since 2022. So that was probably my second Instagram. um I think that Instagram came before the model Instagram. It did. That Instagram came before the modeling Instagram. And it had this stuff on there. It had the stuff that I made at home, as it grew, it had the stuff that I made online, like through my print on demand company. So it's gone through so many different changes, but that's what happens in business. You have to try things to see what works for you and your brand, works for you and your audience, and then you have to take note of it. Oh, that didn't work, so now we're going to do this differently. You're not going to learn by just planning. You can't over plan and then think that, oh, when I execute it's going to be perfect. That's not how it works. You have to put yourself out there. You have to try it. You have to do something. And so I'm grateful that I had that time. I had that self-belief. Even in like the depths of my insecurities, I still kept putting myself out there. And so just do it. Just put yourself out there, do something. And you'll figure out what your brand is, what your niche is, who your audience is as you go. If you don't already know, right? A lot of times our audience is someone, it's either who we are, who we want to be, or one of our loved ones, usually, depending upon your why. But usually the problem we solve is it's because we've seen a problem in our own life or in someone we love's life. For example, I started my oils because with PCOS, I learned there's so much stuff that affects your hormones, and your hormones are already imbalanced because of PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, if I haven't said that already. Your hormones are already imbalanced, and those perfumes, those lotions, the candles, all that stuff has fake shit in it that fucks up your hormones. So I said, what can I be in control of, right? So I can be in control of what goes on my skin and what goes in my hair. So I was looking for all natural stuff. It was hard to find all natural stuff, and then it was hard to find affordable all natural stuff for your hair and skin. And so I did the research and I was like, well shit, for the cost of one bottle of something, I could make my own. And so I just started making my own. And then it just grew from there. Then I found essential oils, which helped my nervous system because I get anxious and I have PTSD. Um, and so then I incorporated that. So now my oils benefit your hair, skin, and I say your soul. Hair, skin, and soul, your nervous system. They benefit all three. So it's like a 3-in-1 oil. And so that's the problem that I'm solving. One, you have an all natural product, but now you have an all natural product that's going to benefit your hair, your skin, and your nervous system. So there you go, right? So that's how my business began. Some people, they want to work in what? Life insurance, because they've seen too many car washes for funerals, right? And that hurts, right? So like stuff like that, usually your why, your problem solving, the reason why you start a business is usually because of something you've experienced or someone close to you has experienced. And so really just connecting with that stuff is going to help you determine what direction to shift your business in. I think sometimes because of social media, we get caught up in trying to do trends because we want our business to be successful. But I've learned that if you can really just be honest as possible with your audience, people are going to gravitate towards you. They may not gravitate as fast, but the reality is, once people start to see beyond other people's BS and they see how real and raw you are, then they will gravitate towards you. But that's what the greatest thing that I'm learning is the more you are, the more raw and authentic you are, the more raw and authentic your audience is going to be, right? They're going to be true people who are advocating for you as well, right? They're out there saying, "Oh no, you should go to Deshay because she does this and this, and she's like this, and she's been doing it for this many years." And they know your story. You know what I mean? They actually paid attention to your story, and they're going to pass it along and along and along and along. So I don't know where I was going with all of that. I know we were talking about branding, but storytelling, branding, visuals, it all comes as you put yourself out there. I always say just put yourself out there. I'm a little impulsive when it comes to business because um why not be? You know what I mean? The vision was given to you and you can't clean it up until you actually start trying it. If it just stays up here, you can't do anything about like you don't know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work in the real world if you don't actually try it, you know? So I'm grateful to have the opportunities to try these things, to put myself out there, and to keep going. Um, and to believe in myself enough to have all the 6 Instagrams. Because believe it or not, those are all branches within my business. And they work for me. Ooh, child. This drink is really good. I'm going to let me see. Someone said, is it important to have a website? Websites are I love my website. I'm obsessed with it. Actually, shoot, I gotta make a payment on my website. Websites are great for credibility. I think that, in my opinion, sorry, I'm recovering from a cold. In my opinion, because of how social media is today, I would organize my social media the way I've organized my new ones. I mean, my you could either look at the model one or the Shea Butter one. The Shea Butter one is extremely organized, like business organized. The Shea Carter one, the grid doesn't have a specific pattern, but the highlights are organized and the bio is clean and all the things. I would focus on that, your Facebook, if you have a Facebook page, and getting a Google, because nowadays people are going to Google you or look you up on Facebook or Instagram. That's how they're going to look for you. It is still highly beneficial to have a website because social media does have its moments where it crashes. So it is important to have another place where people can reach you. But starting off, start with the free stuff, right? You can um clean up your Instagram. What did I say earlier? I used Pinterest, ChatGPT, and Canva to get my Instagram to look the way my Instagram looks. Outside of the professional photos that I took, those are the 3 things that I used for all the Instagrams. I'm about to clean up, like I said, I'm about to clean up the Carter Love Network one, so bear with me. But and again, that's what I'm using. Pinterest, it's too far. And I don't have the other one. I was gonna show you guys my grid that I use to organize my Instagram. But anyways, I use Pinterest sometimes to look at the way grids are organized for different brands. So you just type in Instagram grid for whatever, some product. You know, if you're a candle girly, you sell candles, Instagram grid for candles. You could also look at other professional Instagrams and see what's your vibe. At the end of the day, it still needs to fit your vibe because it's your brand. Um, I don't know how we got on branding, but here we are. Um, and yeah, so you do that, then you go in chat GPT, you say, this is the kind of content I want to create. Can you help me create a grid for Instagram? They'll spit you out a little grid for Instagram, and then you just follow it. What I do is I go in Canva and I make it in Canva, so then that way I can see how it's going to look on my grid. And you can go in there and plan it out like weeks in advance so you know what to post, when to post it. You could also schedule it, but I don't do that. I should, but I don't. What they say, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Um, sorry, I didn't know this thing was it usually loads itself, but it didn't. So I didn't see some of the comments. Um but yeah, so then you go in there, boom, clean it all up. But yeah, so if you don't have a website, I would say Instagram, Facebook, Google. 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 Okay? Especially depending upon who your audience is. If your audience is um in the older like 40s and up, Google and Facebook. You're gonna want to be on Google and Facebook. They're gonna Google you. It's gonna happen. If they can't find you on Google, then you know you don't exist. Okay. And it's not that hard to put your business on as a Google business. Um, so oh, what's in the cup? It's what's in my cup is some of this and pink lemonade. Hold on. Some of this. This is what I'm drinking. But yeah. Um, that's all I got for y'all today. You know, I've been excited about branding because before I hopped on, before I went on my Target run, I had started rebranding the the talk show Instagram as well as the model page Instagram because I forgot to add three things to my highlights. So I was updating that. And I'm really excited because I think no, let's claim it. Let's claim it. I have finally found some good footing as far as having a male model for my clothing brand and my oils. So I feel like I can start creating that content soon. Hopefully by the end of this month I'll have some content for that. Um at this point now I'm just waiting on funding. So do I need to put my buy me a coffee in the comments? No, I'm just kidding. So yeah. So I've been kind of hooked on branding and yeah. So if you're watching now or if you're watching the replay and you have questions about branding, put them in the comments because I love talking about branding. Actually, I just found out that at my current job, they'll pay for me to go to school for marketing and branding. And I'm like, hell yeah, sign me up. Um, I just love that I get to utilize like my experience as an entrepreneur and as being raised by an entrepreneur, but also working in retail. I take everything that I learn in retail and I apply it to small business so that we can be big businesses. Um, and then I learn stuff on YouTube and I like research and shit. Um, I love that I can pair that with my creativity and my modeling and just, you know, use it for my brand and other brands. But now that I get to actually be certified, I'm like, sign me up. Let me get certified. Let me get some credibility up in this bitch. So I'm excited about that. I just gotta figure out where it fits in my life right now because I am already in school for psychology. Um, and as y'all know, it's Friday and my homework is due on Sunday and it's not done yet. But I'm telling y'all, I get all A's. Okay, made the D's list again. All right, so I'm doing okay. But I don't want to get cocky. Like I don't want to get stuck. Like, oh, I've been pushing my homework. But no, I'm not gonna get like that though, because the reality is I usually check around Monday or Tuesday. I check to see what my homework assignment is. So I know if I can put it off this late. If it's something like, if it says it's a 5-page essay, no, baby, we are starting on Tuesday at least, because Monday is the talk show. Usually I don't like to do anything on Monday. But I usually will start on Tuesday, at least starting to study, then Wednesday doing some further study, and then by Thursday I should start actually typing. Um, but I check ahead, okay? I'm a responsible procrastinator. I'm responsible about my shit. Um, oops, excuse me. But I think I'm going to close out the show. We're coming up to almost an hour. But again, if you have any questions about branding, any questions about my brand, any questions about how I got here, even though, like I said, most of them are in the on that Deshae Carter page because I hooked that thing up. Okay, everything you need to know is on there. Okay, uh, I'm trying to kill you because of what? I lost you. I don't know why you said I was trying to kill you. Uh, but yeah, so thank you, love. But yeah, so it's all on there. But I love, like I said, I love talking about branding. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Message me directly on one of them Instagrams. Y'all seen all of them? Shoot. On one of them. But if you want an immediate response, you want the Deshae Carter one. The model page is the page that I'm the most active on. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much for watching the Carter Love Talk Show After Hours, a night with the host. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that little bell so you can be notified every time we post a video here on the Carter Love Network. And we're going to close out with our affirmations. As always, remember that you are worthy always. You're worthy of pursuing any and every dream that you have, because sometimes it helps if you actually just do it and see if it's really for you or not. You are worthy of solving whatever problem you see fit to solve. You are worthy of learning from your mistakes and applying those lessons and elevating from them. You are worthy. Sorry, my God, I'm good now. You are worthy of having a successful business, of having a successful brand. You're worthy of telling your story however you see fit. Most importantly, you're worthy of unconditional self-care and unconditional self-love. Until next time, my loves, bye-bye.